Yes. So yeah, as I've said today, my major portion is going to be about results. And normally we all hear that people say, well, results is the name of the game. So we can plan, we can write, we can scream, we can advertise, but at the end of the day, results is what counts. So if I can say, yeah, I'm doing diets, I'm doing exercise, I'm doing that, that's okay. So at the end of the week, we say, Eva, please just step on the scale and let's see, the numbers. So results is really important as far as everything that we do is concerned. Results is what we need. At the end, what do we want to achieve? We go to university, well, to learn, get knowledge, but we expect something in the end. There are some results that we're really looking into. So in everything we do, even in our own personal lives, it's important to see results. Ask ourselves, after some time you've done ABC, you sit down and say, okay, am I doing the numbers in here? How much have I succeeded or how much have I failed? So results is important. So I'm trying to, because I got people here and then they're covering my reading, but anyway, I don't know how do I make it. Yes, so that's better. Yeah, so as you can see, Jim Rohn is reminding us on results. And number one thing that we really need to remember and remind ourselves, the results that we get is a harvest of our past sowing. Okay, we can't lie about that. Whatever we put in, we should expect the results in the same proportion of what we put in. Okay, you can't do otherwise. So that's a very important thing for you and me to kind of remember and really grasp that, if I'm playing lazy, if I'm sleeping, if I'm wasting time, well, in the end, after 2 years, at the end of the week, the numbers will reflect. Okay, so he said the result or harvest that we get come from our past effort. Okay, and is always in direct ratio with what we put in. That's important, that's key in everything that you do. In everything that we put in every, in terms of everything, the attitude that you saw, well, you should expect people to give you back the same, right? So input matches the output. Another thing that is kind of reminding us in terms of results, it's important for us to understand that we always come across opportunities, but the key is we need to learn how to recognize the opportunity. Opportunity doesn't come with a label like, yeah, I am opportunity, come and get me. It doesn't happen like that. So you really get to all the time looking around, think in terms of opportunity, okay? And at times he's saying that we find opportunity, but we fail to engage activity into the opportunity to get the result that we want, So you can see there is an opportunity, there it is, but the opportunity need is like, you got this, is a coal, inside it there is a diamond. So there is some work that need to be done to refine, to take the covers out, to get the thing that is inside, like a coconut. So most of the time when people look at the coconut, they just ignore, but inside the coconut, there's some stuff in there, as simple as that. So it's important that we kind of now understand, okay, this is the coconut. I need to have some tools to peel off the skin and then find whatever it is to crack the thing, and inside it, I got what I need. So most of the time, we just sit around with a lot of coconuts and we assume that there's nothing we can do, but there is something. So opportunity is there, learn how to recognize the opportunity, then connect or plus an intelligent activity into getting what you want, to achieve, into, going toward the dream and all the thing that we aspire. That's very important point. So learn to take advantage, because you see, And then he's a very wise man. He says, we got seasons in life. You know, you got spring, you got autumn, you got summer, you got winter. So it's not going to be summer, oh, summer. No. It's not going to be winter, oh, winter. No. So you got a small time of spring, a small time of opportunity, a window of opportunity. Use it immediately. Otherwise, it's going to pass. And then you say, well, I wish I knew. That's going to be too late. Okay? So whenever it comes, take advantage. So which means that all the time you and me got to be alert. What's going on? What's happening? You know, this is going on at the moment. You know, is there anything that I can grasp or I can get from this to add into, you know, what I am doing to take me where I want to go? So that is the thing. So you say, for example, I like doing what I'm doing, like motivation. So I need to see what do I need to support me to do what I do. Number one, I'm going to be looking at on books, things like those. You know, what kind of book do I read? I need to make sure that, well, I'm reading the books that are doing or that are saying what I'm doing. You understand? So that kind of, yeah. Another thing that he wants us to remember, and which is true, that what we do today, what we do now at the moment shapes the future. The same, the seed I'm sowing today, I'm going to reap tomorrow. Okay? If I'm not sowing nothing today, well, come tomorrow, I'll be borrowing. That is what it is. We can't go otherwise. Okay? So whatever we are doing right now determines the results we get in the future, right? If I'm sitting down eating McDonald's, you know, I'm getting big in size, of course, that's what, you know, it's gonna be. After some time, you know, things are gonna be what they're gonna be. So I need to be mindful of what seed am I putting in the ground at the moment. So my time, how am I spending it? My relationships, you know, who are the people that I am engaging with, you know, in terms of, well, investing, you know, where do you invest your money? All this, whatever I'm doing now affects tomorrow, okay? So that's a key point. Again, he's reminding us on checking our result on a regular basis, okay? It's very important. So you reach at the end of the week, you're gonna sit down and look back and see how much did we do. And all this is going to come in line with what we were discussing in a few, seminars, in a few sessions, you know, that you set up your big goal, you break it into, you know, months, you break it down into weeks, and then you have activities to do, actions, you know, plan of action. So this week, I need to make 15 phone calls. I need to talk to this guy and this guy and this guy in relation to this and this and this. So come at the end of the week, you sit down, you check, how many calls have I done? You know, if you've done good number, and that's good. If you've done only 2 or 3, then you failed. If you repeat that for the next 3 months, then the dream is going to be dead, and we're going to help to bury your dream. All right? So it's important that every time we check, you know, how much are we doing? You know, every time we check, how much are we doing? And that's important. Okay, and he's telling us that our current results is an indicator of what the future is going to be. So which means that we can predict the future. Okay, so if I'm setting up a goal that, okay, for me to achieve this goal, I need to make 90 phone calls per month. And come at the end of the month, I have done maybe 30. So percentage-wise, Charles, what's the percentage in now? You know, I need to do 90, I've done 30. What's that?
33.3333%.
All right, that's 33.33%. So if you repeat that one to the end of the year, well, the number won't be 100. That's what it is. So every other time you're going to check back. Am I on course or am I off course? That is important. Okay, next point. He's telling us, how do we measure our results? Now, there are many ways that we can measure. And I was very fascinated, actually. We all have a common one that we use we normally use. So we check on the tangibles, you know. So I'm checking Charles is driving, oh, Alfa Romeo, that's good. Charles has got a big house with a big garden, right? Okay, so we count on the tangibles, which is okay, as a reflection of somebody's success, you know. In one way, yes, we give a check on that way. You got a nice car, red one, which is good. You got a nice house, 4-bedroom house, fantastic. You got a good job, amazing. But also you need to be mindful of other areas as well. On our previous discussion, we spoke about the wheel of life, okay? And you got a lot of sections in there. So relationship, you know, your faith, you know, exercise and health, investments, and, you know, and all these things. So you're gonna sit down and check, measure, right, in terms of my relationships, you know, how much am I succeeding? You know, 60%. In terms of investing, how much am I succeeding? 8-9%. In terms of exercising, how am I succeeding? 25% that you failed. So you're gonna check all this. So most times we are looking after, if you're honest, people are looking after the material. So if I got the Lamborghini outside, a nice house, people count that all done. You know, now you can relax and sit on the tree. Life is done. But that isn't, you know, it's more than that. And I found that this is really amazing stuff. It's more than that, you know. After you have the Lamborghini and all this, and then, right, you're eating burger, you're unhealthy, the Lamborghini won't help you, you understand? Yeah? If you got all the Lamborghini and stuff, but you haven't got no good relationship, right, you are sick on the bed, the Lamborghini won't talk to you. You need people to come and talk to you and say, hey, how are you doing? You need somebody there. You understand? So it's really important to kind of look a bit wider, you know, on this. So he said, we don't only measure the tangibles, you know, but also we need to know there are other important things like the joy, the health, the love, the family, friendships, you know, all those things are important. Actually, are the most important, okay, in terms of life. So it is important. So if we are not satisfied with the what we have achieved, he say now is the time to fix the future. Okay. So when we go back, we do the numbers, we check, we cross-check, we investigate, we find no. In this area and that area and here, I'm not doing well. Then what do we need to do? Fix it now. Because if you don't fix today, that means you're kind of forwarding this problem to the future. So you will meet this thing tomorrow. Okay? So if there is anything plan to resolve today. But we say, oh, come on, just 1 more minute, you know, 2 more minutes, you put snooze. Snooze is okay. But the thing is now you'll be driving rushing, you know, because you were sleeping snooze. Now you go short time, everybody in front of you driving slow. And then this is what happens. But you were pressing snooze button when you were supposed to wake up. You don't wake up, you say snooze. Now the guy in front got plenty of time, he's not in a rush, he's driving, you know, 30 miles an hour, and they beep, but no, I got time. You had your time, you were supposed to come up before this time, you understand? So this is what happens, you find they call road rage and something like this, simply because you put snooze. So you're gonna fix it now, no snoozing, because snooze will cost you tomorrow, okay? That's key point. Another point, I love this one, is asking you and me, what am I becoming? What are you becoming? Very important, because most time people set goals to get. I want to get an Alfa Romeo red one. Yes, Charles, you got it. You know, I want to get, 4x4. Well, I have one. That's okay. But you see, say that is not important. You're going to set goal of what am I becoming? Who do I want to become? And he said that is very important. Okay. Now you say another way to measure is to see what am I becoming? And there's some key questions, very simple key questions that he was asking here. He said, what sort of people have I attracted in my life till now? In my neighborhood, when people look at me, how do they perceive me? You know, if you got a belief, you got a faith. Am I practicing my faith? You know, when I'm speaking to people, what's my attitude? You know, do I try to see other people's point of view, or because I say I have said it, it's only me? Okay. When you express yourself, you know, to your spouse and your kids, do you show appreciation? And how do I express myself? And things like this, you know, integrity, you know, ethics when you do your business and stuff. All these things, you know, really make what you are, you know, which to me, if you got the money, you can buy a car, you can buy a house, but you cannot buy these things. You got to become. You can't go in the shop and say, all right, I got 2 million, I want to buy good attitude. You know, I got, you know, 5 grand, I want to buy being happy. You can't. You got to become that. This is what it is. You can't go to Charles and say, Charles, you know, you're my brother, I've known you. Can you borrow me your attitude? I can't borrow it from Charles. Come on. You're gonna earn it. That's what it is. You can't borrow. You understand? I can ask you can borrow me a tie. I can look smart for a week. But if I got the wrong attitude, I'm gonna fix it. Your wife can't do, your mommy can't do, your dad cannot do, you're gonna do it yourself. That's what it is. Nothing else. Yeah. So very important. What am I becoming? And he say, when you're asking for a job, when he's applying for a job, his question wasn't how much am I getting paid in here? He's asking himself, after 3 years, what am I becoming in here? That was his question. So if after 3 years I'm gonna be still a toilet cleaner, then maybe that's not what I want. So he's looking at what am I becoming? To me, that's very paramount. That's very fundamental, very important. Okay, so that is important for me. So the key question is, are we happy with who we are becoming? If not, then it's time to make a checklist and say, why am I not happy with what I am? And these are the areas and these are the things that I want to fix. And then you go to work, you fix them, right? Next. He's continuing saying that what we have become is a result of our past experience, okay? And how we handled our past experiences. So every experience is gonna go to your journal, go to your book, because it shapes our lives. It shapes you, right? A good experience, you know, learn from it. A bad experience, again, there's some lessons. Don't chuck them, don't just chuck them. See, this is what I normally say. If you're going through something and that thing is gone, now you're in a new chapter, take the lessons, because you've already paid the price for whatever that difficulty that, you know, you went through. You pay the price, now you're out. Don't forget and discard and say, I don't want to remember it. It's a bad thing. No. Remember it. Take what made you survive. You know, that's the treasure, because you don't know the day after tomorrow, you may need to repeat the same thing. So take the lessons. So the past experience and how you handle them, they're good, they're beneficial. So what we have become is also a result of our personal changes, okay? Voluntary or involuntary. You know, sometimes we just say, well, I want to get fit, you decide, and you do gym, you do the push-ups and stuff. Sometimes the doctor say, hey, Tombe, if you don't do your push-ups, we give you 6 months, no more. So Tombe go to do push-ups simply because the doctor said 6 months, right? So, you know, you have a choice, I have a choice. And it's good thing that, you know, you do the personal changes by yourself. You know, there's something that's going to come by apprehension, and, you know, how you face life by apprehension. So you don't want to do that. You want to do while everything is okay. Okay, well, everything is okay, you go to the gym. But if you wait until they say, hey, too much sugar, and now it might be too late, right? And here's a very important phrase. If I can make a t-shirt and I'll put this in front of my chest, for things to change, I have to change. And that's what it is, right? If I want the future to change for me, I'm going to change something today. Okay? If I want things to get better, I have to get better. That's what it is. Okay? So for things to change for me, but most of the time people say, oh, you know, we want the political party to change, we want the government to change, the weather got to change. No, the weather won't, you have to change. You see, you cannot control the weather, you cannot control the politics. At times you can't control the economy, but you can control what you do. So if you're going to wait for the boss to change, it's going to take a long time before you change, before you succeed, before you get what you want to get. So don't wait for the boss to change. I'm waiting for the minimum wage to increase. It's going to take too long. And the increment is only 10p. You understand? So it's not enough. So you're going to do something before you say, well, I'm waiting for 10p increment. It's not going to be enough. So for things to change, I have to change. That's life fundamental. Very key, very important, crucial. Forget everything, remember this. Okay? Next. You say, we attract what we are by the person we become. I love that. Right? We attract what we have by the person we become. Now, he's telling us we don't pursue things. You know, you don't pursue things. You don't say, hey, no. You become. If you want to say, oh, you know, they're paying too much, Eva is getting too much money, you know, well, they're paying this much, it's not fair, you know, but you see, it's very easy. Just become more valuable. Yeah, just become more valuable. The boss is getting 500 pounds an hour simply because that is his value. You're getting 550 because that is what you're worth, 550. You know, that's what it is. So that's what it is. This isn't otherwise. Now he say, in designing the better future, we're going to focus our plans on becoming more than what we are at the moment. Because that is what makes the difference in all areas of life aspects. You know, if I want to be a better daddy in the future, well, I'm going to start becoming now, start learning how a better father looks like. If you say I want to be a better wife, a better husband, I'm going to learn how they look like and will start acting now, putting the effort now, and I need now. I have to put what I need to put to become. Okay? Now you say the answer to good life lies in becoming more than what we currently are, which is very true. Okay? We cannot get things by demand. No. You can't say, well, you know, I'm going to riot. That won't help you. What you need to know is that you have to become more. Once you become more, and that's what it is. Okay? And he say, the important thing of this is if I lose everything, if you lose everything, tomorrow you can get them back after 2 weeks, simply because you already become that thing. So you attract. So you're not worried about, so I'm gonna know, you already are, you know, you already are. You already have that skill, you already have that knowledge, you already have that thing. So even if they say, okay, Eva, we're taking a job today, say, no problems. I'm gonna get another one tomorrow, because you already know what you're doing. You understand? So that's what it is. So we attract what we have by the person we become. Very important. Okay? So to have more, I have to become more. That's what it is. So for me to be in a better place in the future, is preparing today to become that thing that I want to be in the future. Okay? That's very important. Next is reminding us that success must be attracted, not being pursued. Okay? Now, to many people, this might be difficult because they pursue things. You know, they go after things, but they forget that you cannot chase after things. The things are already there. You know, it's like you say, I'm looking for oxygen. No, oxygen is already around. You don't need to go anywhere. It's already where you are. What you need is the lung capacity to breathe in and out. That's what it is. So the guy with the bigger lungs, they're going to suck more oxygen. That's what it is. So you're not going to say, oh, I'm chasing. No. like the money is around. You see, the money is already around. So how do we attract? Who attract the most depend on the power of the magnet. That's what it is. So I become more skillful, for example. You know, I sharpen my skills. That's what it is. So you're in a group of 100, you say, oh, maybe it's not fair. Well, whoever has the most skill is the one who get the job. That's what it is. Whoever does the magic touch, that's what they're going to pick. That's what it is. So that's what it is. But most time people forget and say, oh, you know, I wish in that office, if I had an uncle, would have done something, you know, behind the back door. There's no the back door. Just be good. Just sharpen your skills. You understand? You put value on you. And then people be looking for you. You don't need even to, they're looking for, say, we are looking for this. They're going to be chasing you. As simple as that. Become more valuable, become irreplaceable, if that is. That's what we should be. So he says, since the solution of having more is becoming more, we must be in constant search for new ways to increase our value. Okay, so if I become 3 times valuable in the marketplace, that's good. If I become 4 times valuable in the marketplace, that's good, because, you know, people pay for the value. Yeah, they don't say, oh, you know, because you see, I pray a lot, which is fine, is good. I'm a good member in the society, which is fine. But at the end of the day, the value, what value am I putting in the marketplace, that will determine what I'm getting. Okay, so it is the acquisition of more value that we must pursue, not valuables. Okay, because this is the trap. Many people, most everybody, they look for the valuables. They're chasing these things, but they say, no, that's not the way it is. You just increase your value, and this will follow you. Okay, so we should try our best to work hard on ourselves, and all other things will come. Right, next. It said that the results come from being a better person. And he said that we become and attract. We grow personally, then we advance materially. So the first object is not the material, it's you becoming that thing. And then all the things you'll attract. The material, the money, the whatever, the payment will come after I've grown to that level. Okay? So we have to become first. That's what he's trying to remind us. But he said, unfortunately, the vast majority seem to have the plan in reverse. They're chasing the material first. And they say, well, I have to have this first. If I have the money first, then I'll be a better person. You know, but it doesn't work like that. You being a better person is what creates the money to come to you, possibly. You understand? So it's not about you, you know, getting first, the money first, coming first, and then I'm going to change it later. That doesn't work like that. Okay? So you got to be first, and then the other thing that you're chasing is an addition. Okay? So it's important, because somebody say, you know, when I have a bit of a, you know, good salary, then I'm going to start saving. You know, if I work in the bank, she'll tell us more about this. You know, but the discipline is, if you cannot manage the small that you get now, start putting coins in the jar, then even if you get a big box that you call, you're not going to be able to do nothing with the you know, investment portfolio, because you don't have that habit. You don't have that that thing. You're going to have that first. From the beginning, you go, you know, 10p, 20p, 15p. Then when you have 15 pounds, you're able to put £5 in the jar. That's how it works. You know, very important. So you need to, you know, remind yourself and myself that the better I become, you know, the easier it's going to be, you know, in applying the disciplines, because this takes a discipline. So unless I develop some discipline, it won't work. You can't say, no, I'm going to be lazy now, and then tomorrow when this happens, I'm going to start doing the discipline. It won't work like that. So if you say, I'm not going to do a 30 minutes walk today, then next year I'm planning to start running for an hour. That won't work. You know, so start small. Right. Another point is about the future. The future rewards are always available. They're always there waiting for us. But the thing is, we have to do the job. The harvests are already available for the people who are willing to go in the farm and put the seeds in the ground. The harvest is already there somewhere. But we can't do it in reverse. You know, the dream that we have is already there. But for us to reach the dream, we're going to do something. We're going to do the job that needs to be done. We're going to plan for things. We're going to do the workout. We're going to do whatever we need to do. Okay? So whatever we have dreamed before, it can be achieved. You know, simply because we have the ability to change. Say, from tomorrow, I am starting to exercise. From tomorrow afternoon, I'm starting saving. From tomorrow morning, I'm starting being, you know, a person who read at least one book, you know, per whatever you're going to say. So you have to do that. So he's just reminding us that the journey that we are, you know, we're looking start going, you know, might be too far, but you start with one step today. You know, you decide, I'm starting today. The future is there. There's a promise for the future, but you have to pay the price. As simple as that. Okay? So the journey towards success is a journey of 1,000 steps, and it will begin possibly with a single book that you may decide to read today. Same like what we're doing at the moment, you know? And I think it's better this way than you wait for tragedy to force you to start making changes or, you know, start working toward your dream, you know? So we have to choose today, stand up today and say, from tomorrow, you know, I'm deciding to change the direction. Okay? Next, he's reminding us the value of a new skill. Okay? He said that the development of a new skill is vitally important if we expect to make major progress and improve the level of our performance. Okay? And he's giving a good example in here that you can try to chop a tree using a hammer. That's fine. The tree will fall down after some time, but that will take you long time, you know, and here say it may take you 30 days. But if you sharpen your skills, you know, and you become more skillful, more sophisticated, you know, then you achieve your objective, you achieve your goals quicker, you achieve your, you know, your dream maybe faster. Okay, so skill become more skillful. Okay, and he say life and labor get easier when the knowledge is combined with the new skills. Okay, so all the time we're going to make sure that we're working on our skill, sharpening our skill. You know, Stephen is presenting here, he's sharpening his skill. Slowly, I'm refining it, you know. Eventually, somehow, somewhere, you know, it's taking me somewhere. So whatever thing that you're engaging in, you know, if it's a job, if it's an art, if whatever thing, you know, try to refine, try to find ways to better the thing that you're doing. You know, if you're an accountant, if you're IT, if you're whatever you're doing, always think of how can I improve this? How can I make this better? And I think that's a good thing. You know, if you always think how you can improve, it's not going to be, oh, this job is boring, you know, it's always like this, I'm bored. No, you're going to have no drive. But, you know, every day, you know, like, say, footballers, today they're playing this team, tomorrow they're, you know, it's a new challenge, giving you excitement, you know, new fulfillment if you achieve it. So it's good. All the time, try to see how you can refine and sharpen the skill. Because we need a skill to become more valuable, to increase the value. You know, we need a new skill for us to be able to go toward the dream that we want. So we need to be skillful, okay? That's another point as well, important. Now, the first step for getting better results. So we know we go to have results. At the end of the day, is a result that counts. Now, here's a question. Can a poor person become wealthy? The answer is yes, of course, they can. But they're going to do something. They have to do something for the results that they have to change. And in Africa, at times they say, well, you're going to see a juju man to pray for you, and they're going to do this, what, and they get the money. But themselves, they don't have the money. They tell you to give them the money, but they're going to make this juju for you to get the money. But what they don't do, the juju to themselves to get the money. This is the thing, is a mystery that I can't really tell the answer to, but that's what happens. But here's very simple. Of course, you're just going to do some work. There's no juju man to do this for you. Why they, you understand? I think you understand. I think you reason it with what I'm trying to say. You're going to do what needs to be done. If you're a farmer, you want to harvest, there's no juju man. Wake up in the morning, get your hoe, dig the land, put the seed, put the water in it, and then go home. That's it. That's the deal. Right? There's no shortcut, because there's no shortcut in life. You know what I'm going to do? There's no shortcut. You're going to do what needs to be done. That's the principle of life. Yeah? That's the principle of life. If God say, you know, we go 12 hours daylight, 12 hours night, whatever it is, 24 hours in a day, you cannot do a shortcut. Say, you know, today I think, you know, I'm going to just spin it around to make it shorter, quicker to finish 24 hours. How would it happen? What will happen? If the earth rotation say, you know, today I don't want to do the minute 24 hours, it's too long. I just want to, you know, fast track quickly, and then just like quickly, and then it won't be. It's going to follow the process, you know. Right, for ladies, sorry, Eva, you know, you got baby in the tummy, you're going to persevere for 9 months. Well, you say, no, it's too long. I want 7 months or 5 months, you know, fast like fast coffee, you put in instant. No, the baby won't mature. If you want an instant 5 months, it won't work. It's going to be 9 months, okay? So the unique combination of desire, planning, effort, perseverance, you need all that, okay? Now, say the question is not whether the formula for success will work, but rather if the people will work the formula. And this is very important. If you can take this, write it down. The thing is, it's not that the formula doesn't work. It's the people to work the formula. It's the people who are the problem. We are the problem, right? There is a setting already which is there. You see, for example, the other time we're talking about rest. And Mr. Rohn said, don't make rest your objective, make rest necessity. Now, if you a believer, I believe, you read the Bible, the Creator gave us a ratio, you know, 6-1, 6 days of labor, 1 day rest. You may say, I don't want that setting. I want, you know, 6-3, you know, 3-3, you know, 3 days I work and then 3 days I sleep and be lazy. If you want that, that's okay. You know, you can change, but you see, there is a setting that we have already. You go summer, you go winter, you go spring. So you and me got to learn, what do I do with summer if I have it? Now is the winter time, you know, I need to see what did I do with the summer, because in the winter time is a tough time. You know, things are not as much as, so if I was sleeping during the summer, now come winter time, you can say, no, I don't like this setting, you know? And then he's there, you cannot go in the calendar and say, I don't like January. So you rip the calendar and start February. It won't work. You know, you can say, I don't like January, I rip the calendar because there's a school fees. No, January will be still there. You're going to plan for January, November, the year before. That's it. Yeah. So Charles is very happy. Charles likes January, I know. So it's, it's important that we work the formula. Okay, so we can all go from where we are to whatever we want to be. And all dreams that we have are possible. You know, all the plans, all the goals are possible. But the thing is, we're going to walk the walk, right? We're going to sit down, we're going to plan, we're going to have discussions like this, we're going to stimulate each other, push each other. This is all we need, you know, put the catalyst a little bit on your thing and then say, yeah, it's possible, you know, share ideas and, you know, say, hey, Charles, you know, 3 months is gone. What's going on? Any new thing? No. What's going on? What's happening? And you need that little push from a friend. And I think that is a good thing, you know, make us go forward. Okay, next. If we pay the price, we will inherit the promise. And this is very wise as well. You know, the promise and the price. Most of the time, people want the promise, they don't want to pay the price. People want to have the results, but they don't want to do the job. They don't want to go to the farm and put the seed on the ground. They just want harvest, and that won't work. Okay, so there is no shortage of opportunities. There's always opportunities, but there's only shortage of those people who will, you know, really do the do's that need to be done to acquire the success. All right, because there are some principles which are there already there. If you want to be healthy, there's a principle. You're gonna eat good, you're gonna exercise, you're gonna do this. So there are things to do for you to be something. There are things to do for you to get something. You know, there's a way to do. Now the key is you and me to do them. Okay, so if you want to drive a car, you're gonna have a key, start the engine, and then do what you need to do. Say, no, I don't like that setting. Then the car won't go. That's simple. As simple as that. Yeah, it's as simple as that. But at times, we want to compromise and we want things our own way, but that won't work. So if we see the promise, yes, but there is a price. There's a price tag on it, the price to be paid. Okay, so for those whose effort have produced poor results, most of the time they will find something to just justify the poor progress. He's saying that. You know, so you're gonna go into, the political party now is not very nice. You know, it's not supporting the people in a third class. It's supporting only the middle class and the upper class. So you can have all those ones, you know. But at the end of the day, results will tell. You know, you can have excuses. You can blame the taxes. You say the parents were not good, the teacher, the system. And you can blame even your country. I don't know where you're going to live, but this is what it is. And we discussed the other time, Charles was saying, it was in his session, we're always looking on what is outside. You know, we're starting from, the people around me, you know, but no. Let's come to you first, because on the list of excuses you're making, you're going to be number one, right? You're going to be number one. So there's no need to make excuses. There's no need to do all this, you know. If you want, if you really desire, you can. Forget about the boss. Forget about the weather. You can't control the weather. The weather is there. And then when it's there, say it's winter, it's for everyone. You know, if it's summer, it's for everyone. Okay? So be willing, be ready to pay the price for the promise. Now, here is another thing. Always, all the time, we need to check. Okay? We check the results, you know? What are we getting? So at the end of the week, at the end of the month, we do numbers. Are we making profit or making loss? It's something that we're okay. Companies do this, but we don't do this to ourselves, which is really something, you know? We need to do this in our own lives. So you go your goals. You know, you say, I'm doing, you know, this project, you know, I'm doing exercise, running, I'm doing whatever you do, you need to see the numbers. Okay. Now, he's reminding us that if you see that, okay, I'm supposed to do this and I'm not doing, you can neglect. You can neglect today. It's fine, but it's going to be costly. So you can say, well, I'm eating a Big Mac today. It's not right. It's okay. You know, and then you eat another one tomorrow, you don't see anything. You say, well, it looks like fine. So you continue eating. But after 6 months, you realize, something has happened. Okay? So it's important that for us to remember that neglect can cost us. So no neglect. If something needs fixing, we're going to go to work and fix it. Okay? And then he's saying that we cannot afford to wait until 10 years, then we'll come and check, is my plan working? Where do I need to modify? You find you've drifted so far out of your target. So we need to do, like, you know, some checks. You know, you call them mid-course correction. So after every little, you check, am I still on course? Yes. Am I still on course? Yes. Am I going off course? Yeah, come back to course. And that's what we need to do. Very important. Okay, so we must make sure that we measure progress. So what do we mean? We're doing this with Charles, we're making this seminar. So, you know, after 2 years, we need to go and look back. Charles, we've been doing for 3 years. What's happening? What's going on? That's a good thing to do. You know, that's the important thing to do. You know, you're engaging into a certain activity. You're going to come and look back. What's going on? What's happening? That's important in a regular basis. Okay? And he say, you know, if you go something which is a bit long term, you know, you're shooting very far, you need to check very regularly, because if you don't, and then you go in the fun, and you've gone too far, then it's too far to come back, right? So the longer it is, the more frequently you need to check. Okay, so this is another important thing, very important, and that is to make a measurable progress in a measurable amount of time. Okay, and he was asking a very important question one of these days when he was doing the seminar. He say, you know, if we come and ask you, Sister Eva, how long do you want your child to stay in grade 1? How many years? 2 years? 3 years?
No, the required amount of time.
Right. So if that's very nice. So if we demand our kids to be in grade 1 for that time frame, that's very important. Then we also got to be, you know, well, responsible to make X amount of progress in Y amount of time. Okay? So we say you've been in England. How many years, Charles? 10 years. Let's do numbers. How much are we doing? So we look back, we see something. Good. We look back, we see fog. No good. The future's not clear here. You understand? So we are supposed to make progress at X amount of time. So when time passes, we say, okay, we've been here 2 years. What's happening? What's going on? We can't just stay casual, like, okay, life goes on, it's just numbers. No, we're going to check, you know, 4 years. What's happening? What's going on? We check. Are we going forward? Are we stagnant? You know, and if we are stagnant means we're losing, because life doesn't stay stagnant in one place. If we're not moving, means we're losing. We're going to keep moving. So we have to make sure we're making progress, because that is the purpose of life. You know, the value of life is in that, making progress at the amount of time. Okay? And he's reminding us that we shouldn't hate the challenges. The challenges are good. When you're engaging into activity, you're engaging into whatever that you're doing, it's a project. When you have the challenge is good, you know. It's reminding you, it's making you stick more to what you're doing, because you see you're having a problem, you're thinking about this. How am I going to solve this? You know, what's the answer? Who can I call? You know, who are the people I can, you know, try to, that makes you stay tight to your project, okay? Because you see, the human nature is nice and calm, it's cruise control, you forget about it, okay? And it may not be good. So when you have a little challenge, that's good. It's mind you to stay, of course. It's like when you're driving in a car and it's a motorway, it's straightforward, you know, you may start falling asleep. But the road, if the road is bumpy and you go all this to do, you're not gonna sleep, right? Even if you sleep, you're gonna be at least awake, you know, half awake because of the conditions, okay? So that's another thing. So love the challenge on the project, on activity, on the journey that we have. The challenge is good, okay? So Now he say, if you are not making a progress, there might be some reasons why that is the case. Okay, maybe the goal is too small and we are not excited about it. It's too small, like, okay, it's not really, giving you that spark. It's too small. That could be the reason. Or another reason could be, the goal is too big, and we lose hope that, okay, this is impossible. I don't think I'm going to achieve this. And then just you lose heart slowly, and then everything just dies. Yeah. So the belief believing you were having the possibilities, the energy, and start going and then finishes. So it could be that. Okay. So he said that if you're not making measurable progress in a reasonable amount of time, something must be wrong somewhere, right? So maybe the objective or the execution, the plan execution isn't right. So we need to go and check. It's an indicator that something is not right. So I've been here doing this for 6 years. It's not going forward, and something isn't right. Maybe I go flat tires, so I need to check, So this is why you need to check. I need to check results all the time. So if you're putting 10 and then you're getting 4, you're putting 10, you're getting 3, something isn't going. You're putting 10, you're getting 10, you're not going forward. If I put in 10, get 20, that's good. If I put in 10, get 50, 50, that's nice. So we need to kind of check. And then the results that we get, they're indicators of something isn't right, and it's good to do that. And right. I got icons that are blocking my heading, my slide, Charles. Then I want to bring it down. I got these icons here. They are blocking my one. He's talking about neglect, okay? He's talking about if we neglect, we might pay a bigger price. Now the key is time passes by, you and me are heading somewhere, okay? After 4 years, you're going to be somewhere. After 60 years, you're going to be somewhere. But the question is, where am I going to be? Where are you going to be? Okay, in terms of equity, in terms of philosophy, in terms of the book you've read, in terms of health, where are you going to be 10 years from now? Okay, very important. Now he says, now it's time to fix tomorrow. Now it's time to fix next week. Now it's time to fix 10 years, because life accumulates. Whatever you're doing today gives you what's going to look like tomorrow. If I'm exercising well today, I'm eating well today, I'm sowing well today, then I have more chances of having more harvested tomorrow, more healthier tomorrow. That's what it is. So we need to see and we need to check, because there are many things that lessen our chances to do well in life, which is very true. But we need to plan. If we don't, then we're going to face life with apprehension, instead of facing life with anticipation. Because if you put something, then you expect, you got some expectation, you anticipate something. But if we didn't do what we need to do now, then tomorrow is like we don't know. We're just looking every little wind shaking the tree. We think, oh, the lion is here to eat me, because see, we didn't prepare, So very important, very key to prepare, Now, is reminding us to make sure that we don't neglect, because when we neglect, then that's going to start making a drift far away from what we want to be. And you're going to ask yourself some simple questions. I put some sample questions in here. So, for example, how many books have I read in the past 90 days? How much have I exercised last week, last month? Okay. How much income have I invested, last month, last year, last week or something? How many people have I networked with? The people that, I need to support me to go where I want to go, for example. You go to the journal. How many times have I visited my journal and write something in there? Things like those are important stuff. If you neglect them for 10 years, well, result will tell. But if you're gonna get, if you gonna be committed, you know, if you're committed and you do these things for 5 years, you're gonna be looking good. You know, I'm pretty sure of that, because whatever we sow, we reap. Okay, so we don't neglect. Okay, because the neglect intensifies the challenge in the future. So you're kind of postponing, you're depositing your seed for disaster in the future. So if you wanna, you're supposed to do your 10 push-ups today, do them today. Don't borrow from tomorrow, you know, because tomorrow is gonna be 20. It's gonna be too much to do. Yeah. So you got 10 today, do them today. Don't forward them tomorrow. If you forward them for 3 days, they become 30. Then that's too much to do. Okay. So it's nice to pay the price today for tomorrow. Now we've got two choices to face: apprehension or anticipation. And that's what it is. If you plan well, that's very nice. We can anticipate. If we don't, then apprehension will be knocking onto our doors, because, you know, now you've arrived, 10 years is gone. You look around, you don't see nothing. You just see fog, and, you know, means it's not very clear. You don't know what's going on. So it's time to make sure that the life is not going to be foggy. It's to make sure that we put in what we need to put now. You know, the exercise, you know, the savings, the investments, everything that we need to do. Let's take time to do them now, because that is our investment for tomorrow. Okay. So our ultimate life objective should be to create as much as our talent and ability and desire will permit. So we're gonna go full, we're gonna go max, you know. And he was asking a question: how tall can a tree grow? The tree will grow as far as it can go. You understand? So if the tree doesn't grow halfway, why should we do half things? Let's do as much as we can, to the max of what we can do. Okay, so do not settle for less, but do the best that you can. Okay, that's important. And by that, I'm going to say a big thank you, because I have to leave some time for whatever. So I didn't want to do too much, but thank you very much for listening, and I hope that we have, you know, gained something for what I presented. So the choices that we face, you know, no neglecting. Wow. Because the neglect, you know, intensifies the problem in the future, and all these things, you know. So make measurable progress in a reasonable amount of time, you know, check on the results often, you know. If the future is okay, then you're gonna have to pay the price at the moment for the future. So all these things, I think and I believe that they'll add value. So welcome, Charles.
Wow, wow.
Sorry, can I just butt in real quickly? Sorry.
Yes.
Stephen, can you show that last slide, please? The one that says about the two choices we face. So I'm just taking down some notes, that's all.
Yes, those are the two choices. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, Steve. Thank you so much. That was a loaded presentation. At some point, I completely lost the track of time, because I was really engaged in what you were saying. There was so much value in the stuff Steve was sharing, and you know, results. You know, checking our results often. You know. Investing our time in developing our skills and becoming better, you know, because when we get better, you know, everything gets better for us. You know, it's just fantastic wisdom there that you've been sharing, Steve. So I'll tell you what, time has really gone, but it would be really nice to have a bit of a conversation before I come in with my bit. And I promise you, I'm going to be very brief with my presentation. I'll probably spend about 10 minutes tops on mine. So before I go into that, please, I'd like to allow a few contributions based on what Steve has been sharing.
Right. Can I stop sharing now?
Yeah.
Is it finished?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Steve.
All right. Okay. Cheers.
Here we are. How is everybody doing? Are you all good?
We're good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll come in with some contributions if that's
Go
okay.
for it. Go for it, Eva.
Thank you. I didn't know, Stephen, you could talk that much. Amazing. I mean, very, very good. But I mean, there's some really good things. And even the last sentence, which someone was just saying, is if we to settle for doing less than we could is to fail in this work years of undertakings. And I thought, oh my goodness, that is just underlines it for me. Like, you have to always try to live your best, and that's when you're going to get your purpose out of life. So we always have to keep reinventing ourselves. One thing I always live by is, again, you said about become, then we attract. So I'm always a proportion of, if you want something, you have to become it. If you want love, you have to be loved. If you want kindness, you have to give kindness. You have to, you know that thing in the Bible that says, give it shall come back to you, good measure, press down, shake it together, rolling over. I just apply that to life. Like anything you want, you have to become it before you get it. So yeah, I'm gonna read this book. I'm so excited. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Emeka, I see you. You've got your hand up. Come on. You're on mute, my brother.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that. There was that line that in one of the charts that said, settling for what you can get. Can you repeat that line? I want to write it down. Because that line is something I really...
Which one?
Settling for what you can, settling for what, I can't remember that. Like Eva just said it now. It has to do with settling.
Oh. It's in the last slide you shared. To settle for doing less than we could do is to fail in this worthiest of undertakings. It's in the last slide.
Okay, settling less.
Last slide. Yes.
Settling less for what we can do.
Yeah.
Steven's gonna bring up for you the presentation, then you can copy it.
Yeah.
That one.
If you bring it up.
Yeah.
Okay. I see it now. Okay.
You see, yeah?
I see it. To settle.
Yeah. I mean,
less.
While he's writing that, if there is anybody else with any contribution, any question, anything you want to add to what Steve was talking about, please be free to do it now. You're more than welcome. Anybody else?
Just wanted to apologize for not making a couple of meetings. I've had my students on the runnings, so I'm trying to get them qualified. And it was good to catch the last bit. It's very useful. I think I found that helpful. And I think for me, it's rounded up with what Stephen was saying, you being really honoring your word to yourself. So if you say you're going to do something, honor the word to you. It starts from small commitments. If you say you're going to wake up at this, honor your word to yourself, for me, is the key to honoring everything else to you do in life. If you can learn to honor every word you say to yourself, it helps. Because sometimes when I started this journey, I used to do what you call shelf development. You know, when you buy so many books and then you only read one out of the 20. And that's really a lot of people when they start this journey, they hear all these sessions. What are you doing with these slides? Are they then packed until the next time this course is? You have to honor your word to put in the work. So it's down to honor your word to yourself, and you'll find that you're making those gradual changes. But yeah, it's nice to be back. Hopefully I should be able to meet the other sessions.
It's always a pleasure to have you, Sharon. And shelf development. I never had that before. That's an interesting one.
Nice to see you, Sharon. Thank you very much. I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, Charles, can I add something?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that line, to settle for doing less than we could do, is to fail in the worthiest of undertaking. It just made me look deeper in terms of, especially with me particularly. A lot of the times hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Emeka. Carry on.
A lot of the times when we said to, I guess a lot of it has to do with fear, in the sense of, this is as good as it gets, because we are scared of the unknown. That what if there's nothing out there? What if I can't do better than what I am right now? Because I know why I'm talking, because back in the day, like years back, after finishing university, I'll be honest, I won't say I had anybody to guide me on what I really wanted to do with myself. Because I was in the same job for like years throughout my college and university, supporting myself. I was too scared to leave because I didn't think there'll be something, I didn't think there'll be anything out there for me. It was after my master's degree, I decided to take a risk to go back to Africa to see what I could do. It wasn't easy. Well, it's been a journey though, but I'm just learning to understand that everybody has something to offer. It's down to you to discover it's down to you to discover what you really want for yourself. Because it's all about one thing that's always stuck with me is know your worth and know your value as a person.
Absolutely, 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 my brother. That's very true, and it's quite unfortunate. I mean, what Emeka is just sharing, it's something that we've pretty much all gone through. And I mean, if I look back at my life, say when I just finished uni back in my early mid-20s, and I think if I knew what I know now, or if I had guidance, someone to guide me in my personal development, because when you're at school, you get all the training, all the academic development, and all this, but you don't get quite as much training in your personal development. To a point that you come out and your life is very much unidimensional. You know what I mean? You can only think about what you've been trained for and the kind of work that you do, and that pretty much becomes your ceiling, if you like. And so yeah, but then that's why we have these kind of sessions, because we want to have this sort of conversation to really challenge one another, where we kind of hit the ceiling. You come here, you get a fresh insight, and that pushes you a bit further, and you keep going as a result. And that's what we're trying to do on a daily basis, giving ourselves these tools to kind of keep chipping away those obstacles that's standing out in our way, and really grow as a result. So yeah, so fantastic presentation, Steve. Fantastic contribution, everybody. Guys, if you'll allow me 10 minutes of your time, I just want to do the last bit on lifestyle. It's quite ironic that lifestyle is the last piece of the puzzle, and I think unfortunately in life as well, lifestyle is the last thing that we tend to think about, though lifestyle is what ties everything around in our lives, but it's not something we really consider. People consider about their business, consider about their finances, consider about their work, consider their relationships, consider their health, consider everything, but the lifestyle becomes that last thing that, when, yeah, it will be what it will be. It's almost like you leave it to chance what your lifestyle will turn out once you've set time for your work and set time for family and set time for everything else. So I just want to have 10 minutes of your time to kind of talk about lifestyle, because I think lifestyle is really important. And once you get your lifestyle wrong, I think it will end up messing up everything else, as you will see from my quick presentation. Allow me to share my screen really quickly with you guys. Right, let me see if I can bring it up. Right, can you all see that? Raise your hand if you can see that. Brilliant. All right. Now, quickly, let's talk about lifestyle. Now, what is lifestyle? Lifestyle is the way in which a person lives. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's how you live your life. We talk a lot about how you earn a living, and the emphasis there is on the earning, but it's not so much on the living. Now, lifestyle talks about the living part of it. Now that you've earned, now that you've gone to work, now that you've done this, that you've done that, you've earned. How do you live your life as a result? And that's what lifestyle is all about. It's how we choose to live. And the emphasis there is on the choice. Lifestyle is about choice. It's about how do you choose to live your life? How do you choose to spend your time? How do you choose to spend your money? How do you choose to spend, your love even. So lifestyle is all about the choices that you make on a daily basis. It's also about designing your life. A while back, we did a presentation on life by design. and we talked about the wheel of life that Steve just mentioned. And I think it's very important when you're thinking of your life to design the way you want to live your life, to design how you want your life to be before you do anything else. And that speaks about lifestyle. The problem that we get sometimes is that we choose everything else. We choose our careers, we choose our businesses, we choose our jobs, we choose, our friends even, we choose connections, we choose everything before we have chosen lifestyle. And then as a result, at the very end, we find ourselves so compressed in the middle, and our lifestyles ends up paying the heavy penalty, because we don't end up living the life we want, because we found ourselves so encapsulated with all these other things that we've wanted. So it's very important to design your lifestyle first, so that when you're actually going to pursue your dreams, you already have that base, your lifestyle that is ingrained into your values, and really gives you the satisfaction and the fulfillment that you want out of life. Because at the end of the day, it's about fulfillment, isn't it? And we'll see that shortly. Right, earning well versus living well. It's a paradox, isn't it? I mean, we all want to earn more. We all want to have more in life. We all want the beauties of life, the what life brings. Steve was talking about having a Lamborghini and having a big mansion and having a good life and having, being able to afford all these great luxuries of life. Yes, earning well is really important, but then we have to balance that against living well. And I think a lot of people have been caught into that trap, that in chasing greater earnings, we've ended up sacrificing the quality of life that we live, the quality of relationships that we have, the quality of the time that we spend. And as a result, we end up into this huge frustration. I wrote in a comment there, when Steve was talking about having a Lamborghini, and I said, you could actually be a miserable Lamborghini owner. You have a Lamborghini, but you're still living a miserable life. So we need to strike that balance, between earning and living. And the same can be said about wealth and happiness. Are we in pursuit for wealth, or are we in pursuit for happiness? That's the question we need to keep asking ourselves every day. And to ask ourselves, is what I'm doing, is it really bringing fulfillment in my life? Is it really bringing happiness in my life? Because I think that's really important. And that's why I think Jim Rohn put that as the last piece of the puzzle, that we have to really question whether everything that we're doing, whether to do with our philosophy, to do with our attitude, to do with our activity, to do with our results, does it bring fulfillment in our life? I think that's an important question to keep asking ourselves every morning when we wake up. But this is the important bit, that you can start living life in your own terms, regardless of your income. I think so many times we have fooled ourselves thinking that if only I could earn a little bit more, I'll be happier. If only I could be, I could achieve such and such milestones, then I would start to enjoy my life. Then I would start to live. Then I would start to have nice holidays and spend more time with my family. We almost think that in my current situation, I can't enjoy life. I have to be somewhere to enjoy life. The truth of the matter is, the person in the place where you want to be is probably saying exactly what you're saying. That, oh, if only I could be like such and such, then I'll start enjoying life. So forget about all that. I mean, yes, we're still in pursuit of our dreams, yes, but you can start enjoying life. You can start living life in your own terms, wherever you are, in whatever sort of income bracket you are in at the moment. You can make that choice. It's a choice. It's a design, like I said previously. Right, now let's talk a little bit about the art of fulfillment. I was listening to this guy. He's called Anthony Robbins. I love Anthony Robbins. And he was, I mean, he's one of the personal development gurus. And over the years, he's been talking about success and about, achieving greatness and doing this and going big and striving for this and that and going through it all and all that stuff. But I don't know whether it's age, whether it's experience. If you listen to Anthony Robbins now, his tone has changed ever so slightly. And his focus now is not so much into success per se and accumulation of wealth and being this great. It's gone more towards the area of fulfillment. That as you're pushing yourself to succeed, you have to focus on that, on being fulfilled in your life. And And he says extraordinary life is about living your life in your own terms, as I said earlier. And the question you need to ask yourself is that, are you dancing in your own to your own tune, or are you dancing to someone else's tune? Because sometimes when we are chasing success, we may find ourselves dancing into other people's tunes. You know, you have to do everything that everybody else expects you to do. You have to live a life the way people expect you to live. People expect you to have this amount of success. People expect you to have this amount of money, to have this amount of prosperity, to have achieved this, that, and the other. You know, and you become so frustrated because you're not actually living a life that you want, but because you're living to other people's expectations. So those are the questions we need to ask ourselves. So what is extraordinary life? Now, extraordinary life combines two things. The first thing is the science of achievement. That's what Stephen was talking about. Stephen ended up in saying that success is a formula. You know, it's a formula. I mean, all you have to do is to work the formula. If you don't work the formula, you don't get the results. You know, the problem is not the formula. The problem is that we don't work the formula well enough. So success is just a science. It's science of achievement. You know, and that is universal. Anybody can do exactly and follow the same principles, the same formula, and you'll get success. And we spend a lot of time in our sessions talking about that success formula. And I believe you've been getting points from it and really getting tools that can help you break those barriers and really pushing out for your dreams. But there is something more to that. Success, extraordinary life, is also the art of fulfillment. And this is what I'm talking about. And fulfillment is very unique. It's very unique to you. What is fulfillment to you is not what it is to somebody else. Emeka had put a comment earlier and said that success is very personal. Success is defined differently with different people. It's true, but when you speak of it in that sense, you're talking about fulfillment there. You know, when do you say that I'm successful? You say you're successful when your achievements bring happiness to you, when they bring satisfaction to you, when they bring fulfillment to you. That's when you say, I am successful. And that's what lifestyle is all about. If you become so successful, but your lifestyle is so messed up that you don't get the fulfillment, you don't get the satisfaction, then it means absolutely nothing. And that's what lifestyle is all about. Another thing that is really important is achieving life balance. Lifestyle is all about achieving balance. You know, it's that balance that brings happiness. You know, Steve spoke about the wheel of life, you know, the business, the finance, the family, the relationships, your spiritual aspect of things, your mental health, your physical health. That whole wheel, you know, you need to be able to get the balance right to live better, you know, to have a better life. You need to get that balance right. And lifestyle is all about getting that balance right. You know, having a good balance about your health, having a good balance about the relationships with your family, having a good balance with your relationship with your friends, about your faith. You know, how much time do you devote to that? How much time do you devote to your business and work? Is it enough time to give you the returns that you need for your success? Is it too much? Because sometimes it could be too much. You might be working too hard, and that ends up eating on the time you should have spent with your family, time you should have spent with your friends even. So getting that balance right is the key to a happy life. So it's very important to not neglect some of those areas of your life, the relationships of your life, the health of your life, your physical fitness of your life, your business probably is any area of your life that you feel like you've been neglecting. It's very important to bring it up to speed, because that balance is what will bring lasting rewards to life, basically. Now, quickly, happiness is a choice. Okay, happiness is not something that just comes up automatically. Happiness is what you choose. You can choose today to be happy. You can choose today to be in a beautiful state. That's what Tony Robbins said. You know, we are survival creatures as humans. We are creatures of instinct. We survive by instinct. You know, if you put me in a corner and I have to do something, I will do it, because instinctively I have to survive. That's what we are. But unfortunately, we cannot thrive by instinct, you know, because we are not geared that way. Humans are instinctively survival beings. But then to thrive, they have to do that by design. You have to actively take a step. You have to step out of your comfort zone to start thriving, to start enjoying life. And happiness is exactly the same thing. Unless you actually plan for your happiness, you cannot be happy. Happiness doesn't come automatically. And I mean, if your plan for happiness is to go through the day with the fingers crossed, hoping that things will turn out great, trust me, you'll end up having more miserable life, more miserable days than good ones. You know, if you want to have a great day, then from the set go in the morning when you wake up, you have to plan for it. You have to plan that, right, today I want to have a great day. What do I need to have a great day? What things do I have to do today that are going to make me happy? What things will bring fulfillment to me? And set out from the word go in pursuing those things. Because if you don't do that, then happiness will always elude you and you'll always wonder why. So questions you need to ask yourself. How important is happiness to you? How does that fit into your daily agenda? If happiness is really important to you, how does it fit to your daily agenda? You know, that's what I was asking. You know, when you wake up in the morning, do you set your agenda to be happy? Do you set your agenda to find fulfillment? Do you actively pursue it, or do you just leave it to chance? Those are the questions I leave for you to ponder. Another thing, happiness is a study, right? Now this is really important. Why is it really important? Because happiness is unique. Because fulfillment is unique. You have to find what makes you tick. Okay, though it was rhyming there for a minute, isn't it? You know, fulfillment is unique. You need to find what makes you tick. I could be a poet now. But you see what I mean? But it's very important to find what makes you tick in your life, what really brings fulfillment to you, because that is very unique to you. I cannot tell you what will fulfill your life. I cannot do that. You have to find that out for yourself. So it's very important to ask yourself important questions. What makes me happy? What is it that makes me happy? You know, what is it? Sorry, I skipped there for a second. What is it that makes me happy? What question I'm asking you, do you really know? Do you know what really makes you happy? Do you have a list of your most fulfilling things in your life? If I ask you now, what are the most fulfilling things in your life? Do you know that? It's very important to ask yourself those questions, because once you know that, then you can set your agenda to fulfill those things. You know, you can set your agenda to chip into those things as you continue to chase your dream. You know, is it spending time with your friends and family? You know, if so, then how much time do you set aside to spend with your friends and family? You know, is it sightseeing? If that's what makes you tick, then how much time do you spend? How much time do you set in your waking week to do sightseeing? I mean, you might say, you know, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, you know, I can't go on holiday. There are lots of great local areas just around you, I'm sure, that you can spend time to go around and really enjoy, you know, and spend time out there and enjoy the sunset. It's free of charge. You don't need to pay for that. You know, you can go around in the woods. I mean, in the UK, we are blessed with great trails and tracks where you can just go around for free and enjoy sightseeing. If that's what makes you tick, then what is it stopping you from doing that and having that as your daily agenda? Because you need that fulfillment in your life. If it's traveling, the same. You know, what's stopping you from traveling? I mean, I remember I used to do a lot of. I'm not doing that as much now, but I used to do a lot with my family. Just going for a drive. You know, we just get in the car and we just go around for a drive. You know, we go around into places, look at people's houses, look at the streets, and we just enjoy sightseeing. And so we didn't have to wait until when you're on holiday and go around. We just go for a drive, you know, because that brought so much satisfaction out of us. That brought so much fulfillment. And so we incorporated that into our daily agenda. Is it charitable endeavors? Do you get so much satisfaction when you help someone, when you become of value to others, you know? And if that's the case, then why don't you put that in your daily agenda? Why don't you put that in your weekly plan? That every week I have to make sure that I make a difference on someone else's life, because that brings fulfillment into my life. So lifestyle is about finding new ways to bring joy, pleasure, excitement, and substance into our lives while we are working on our goals, okay? So it's not about waiting until we've accomplished our goals, then we can have a lifestyle. No, it's about finding new ways to bring that joy. It's about being creative about the circumstances that you have to really get the best out of life. So it's about being creative, right? The art of being present. We've talked about this many times. You know, we live in the now. You will always live in the now. We learn from the past. Steve has spoken about that, and it's very important to learn from the past. We plan for the future, but we have to remember that we are living in the present, and we will always live in the present. So sometimes don't allow your future to overshadow your present. Don't allow your past to overshadow your present. Always live in the present. Soak in the present. Get the memories of now. Learn to really get out of the present. You know, commit to pleasure just as much as you commit to work. You know what I mean? Sometimes we feel guilty about enjoying life. You know, we feel guilty about having fun. You know, we just want to work. But then what are we working for? And someone says, oh, I'm working for my future. And the question is, who's going to live in that future? Because you're never going to live in the future. You always live in the present. That future has to be present before you enjoy it. So present is the most important time for you. So as you strive to create that future, you need to live the present and really enjoy that. So what's my advice for you? Don't play at work. When you're working, work. And also, just as much, don't work while you're playing. You know, if you're having fun, then mean it. If you come home and you're spending time with your family, then spend time with your family. Stop scrolling on your mobile phone while you're spending time with your family. You know, someone was telling me that she went on a holiday and she took her laptop with her, and she spent most of that time working. You know, and I was like, why would you do that? And she said, because I've got so much to do, I can't afford to take a week off and not do my work. And well, I thought that's really sad because if you can't plan your life well enough to take a week off from your work, then something is wrong somewhere. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to good planning. If you didn't plan well, then that's definitely going to happen. Inevitably, you'll come home and you'll still need to work at home. Or you go on holiday and you'll still have to work on holiday. Why? Because you didn't plan it well. So the most important thing is you really need to plan. But just as much, be open to new experiences. You know, the art of being present, you have to be willing to experience new things. You know, the problem sometimes, if you're not careful, you end up into this autopilot. You end up doing the same things all the time. You don't want to venture into new things. And as a result, your fulfillment becomes really limited. Why? Because you've not allowed yourself to experience new things. You know, sometimes I venture out into doing things that I've never done before, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that there is these things to life. You know, there is these things to enjoy. And sometimes you just need to venture out there and really try and get yourselves to try new things in life, because you don't know what you might find out there that might really bring fulfillment in your life, might really bring joy in your life, or it might really make a difference in your life. So finally, I just have a few tips that I just want to share with you on lifestyle. Really quickly, I think this is my last slide. Invest more quality time with your family. And the key word there is quality. Spend time with them. Engage with them. Hear what your kids are saying. Enjoy their sense of humor. Enjoy what they're doing. Take part in the activities that they do. Be there. You know, don't just be there physically in the space, but be there emotionally. Be there, you know, mentally. Get engaged. You know, be present. You know, that's what it's all about. So invest more time, more quality time with your family. The second one is very similar to that. Invest more in relationships and friendships. You know, what I've realized in my personal life is that I really enjoy being in the presence of my friends. You know, I really enjoy building relationships and having time, because I love to talk. I love sharing stuff. So I love being in the presence of people. So the question I always ask myself is, how can I develop these relationships? How can I find ways to spend more time with people? You know, so what I tend to do now is I start looking for my friends. I start creating appointments with them and try to spend more time with them. I start creating activities that I could spend with my friends. I say like, hey, Stephen, can we go for a walk? Can we do this? Because I want to do that, because I know that these relationships bring fulfillment to me. These friendships mean a lot to me. These times are the times where I'm the happiest, when I'm spending these times with them. So why don't I actually make that my primary agenda, to put them in my waking week, in my waking day, in my waking month, so that really, rather than waiting it to happen by chance, you know, once every blue moon, I end up having this every week. For instance, every week I have time to spend at least an hour with one of my friends. Either we go for a walk, or we go for a run, or we just do this or the other. I do that, and I'm doing that deliberately. Why? Because that brings a lot of fulfillment to me, and that is important to me. So it's very important to really invest more time in the relationship and friendships, because they bring so much joy in our lives. Third one is find time for a hobby and make it a priority. This is something we don't really do. You have to find a hobby. You have to find that thing that really make you tick. And once you found it, make it a priority to do it. Because the problem is, you might ask someone, do you have a hobby? And say, yeah, I do have a hobby. What's your hobby? This is my hobby. How often do you practice your hobby? No answer. Why? Because we didn't make it a priority. We didn't set time for it. You know, if my hobby is playing football, then what do? I look for people that love football. There are lots of people that play football once a week, once a month, whatever. I join those teams. I play with them. You know, for instance, there was a club that I used to play football with. They do it every week, every Wednesday. Unfortunately, the place that we used to go, the venue that we used to go, got shut down with the lockdown, so we stopped doing that. But I used to do that every week, and probably this April we might start doing it again. Why? Because I love playing football, and that both allows me to do exercises. It allows me to do an activity that I like, but also it allows me to create friendships, to create the relationships, and spend time with people and really build that as well. So it's very important to actually make that a priority and go for it. Another thing is make lifestyle a goal. You know, people have lots of goals. If you ask someone, what are your goals? More often than not, people will talk about their career ambitions. They will talk about their family ambitions. They will talk about their business ambitions. They will talk about all those things. Very rarely people will talk about their lifestyle as their goal, as this is how I want to live my life. This is how I want to spend time. This is how I want to enjoy life. Very rarely people will do that. Why? Because we always live lifestyle as the last thing, like I said at the beginning. So it's very important to set lifestyle goals. You know, there can be short-term goals, there can be medium-term goals, there can be long-term goals. You know, for instance, right now, I'm starting to think about when I retire, how do I want to live my life? How do I want my life to be like when I retire? What sort of things do I want to be able to do? You know, and why? Why is it important for me to think about that now? Because I might have to start adjusting my life now to be able to live well when I retire. You know, I can't say now that, oh, I want to be traveling a lot when I retire, or I want to do a lot of trekking or mountain climbing when I retire. And if I start neglecting my health right now, if I start neglecting my health now, come the time when I retire, probably I won't have the energy to do the things I want to do then. So thinking of your lifestyle, short-term, medium-term, and long-term is very important, because it allows you to adjust yourself to be able to achieve those lifestyle goals. And finally, have regular moments of reflection. It's very important to reflect on your life, to reflect and think, right, I've lived today. What have I got out of today? What are the things that brought so much joy? What are the things that brought so much fulfillment in my life? Because when you do that, when you reflect on those things, it will tell you what areas you need to expand in your life and what areas you probably need to restrict in your life. You know, I've had moments of reflection where I've sat down and reflected on my day or my week. And I've realized that there are things that I've been doing that were really messing me up. They were really messing up with my psyche, messing up with my feelings, messing up with the way I feel. And after realizing, I realized that I really need to restrict these things. I really need to bring these things to a minimum. Probably I need to stop these things altogether. Why? Because once you reflect, it tells you what you need to do more in your lifestyle and what you need to stop. And it really helps you focus on those things that bring fulfillment in your life. Journaling is really important because when you're journaling, when you're writing things down, it slows down your thinking process and it allows you to really reflect on the things that has happened in your life. So it's very important to allow your experiences to speak to you, because once you do that, your lifestyle will start to change and it will start to reflect more into your values and it will start bringing more fulfillment in your life. Having said that, that's the end of my presentation. And I do apologize, guys. We are way past our time, but I hope the time that we've spent and the conversation that we've had has added value to you. Before we wind up, I would allow 2 or 3 contributions really quick, and then we will call it a day. Yeah. So anybody,
Can I just
jump in.
because of trauma? Go on. I just wanted to say, from trauma perspective, what you've said, I want to cry because it's not taught a lot in the African culture. I'm sat here feeling like I want a room full of ethnic people to hear this. I work a lot with people who are traumatized. You're the sum of your lifestyle, guys, because your body reacts to your lifestyle. If your lifestyle is wishy-washy, you won't have that career. A lot of sicknesses that ethnic people are getting is down to lifestyle. Their health, their wealth, the amount of stress, anxiety they're putting through their body. There's so much trauma that people are transmitting in their bodies and in their families to their children because of the lifestyle they're leading. So for me, I don't know how we're going to get the message out there that we are the sum of our lifestyles. A lot of ethnic trauma is located to lifestyle, and it's sad. People are dying, children are getting depression, children are committing suicides just because of lifestyle. That's 1. 2, you know, when you're talking about the present and the past, we come from Africa, we come here. A lot of the extended trauma we're giving to our children is because we are unwilling to live in the present. So we're living so much in the past, what happened in the past, and then we are planning so much for the future, and our children are missing out in the present. Our families are missing. And you as a person, a lot of the adults I work with who've got trauma, who get anxiety and who are doing this from ethnic families, is because they're either living in the past, things that happened in the past, or there's so much in the future that it's giving their mind chaos. So for me, those 2 messages, being in the present, you're not a sum of your past circumstances, you're not a sum of your future. You need to come here. I'm speaking like this just because of the amount of dissonance it's creating to the children and the effect it's having on young people in their families. So please take the message out there. We've just kind of lost a young person on suicide this week. And that was a result. The family didn't even know he was going through this. So it's starting to be a problem with our children and our families. I just thought I'd put it in there. So for me, Charles, this is kind of, it's like, woo, I've been sent here today for the right message. Like, it's kind of put a thing in me that go out there and do a program on this and get these people to be heard.
Wow, that's amazing. Very, very, very nice. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, well, we don't know. We just do a program. So, you know, at times you don't know how much value these things are because, well, it is what it is. And yeah, you know, it's fascinating. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, can I add something?
Go for it, Emeka.
Yeah. In lifestyle tips, one thing that stood out for me was find time for a hobby and make it a priority. One of my hobbies I enjoy doing is I enjoy creative writing. That's one thing because I'll say that's one thing that gives me a bit of happiness when I'm able to create something. Charles, I know you get some of the things I write.
I do, yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's one thing that makes me happy. If the only time I don't know how to explain, but there are times whereby I might have writer's block. I might have writer's block. I'm able to create something. But for me, that's one thing. When I'm able to write what I'm feeling, I'm able to put everything on paper from a deep perspective. That's one thing that gives me a bit of happiness. At least one thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that when it comes to the art of fulfillment, it's very unique, isn't it? Everybody, we all have different things that make us tick, and that's what you need to find out. We really need, that's why I said lifestyle and happiness is a study. You have to really study yourself. You have to really look within and ask yourself questions. What are the things that really bring fulfillment in my life? And you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed that there is so much garbage that you've accumulated over the years, the things that occupy so much of your time and your attention, that they're absolutely meaningless to you because they're not, you're just doing them because they're habits that you've created over the years or expectations based on what other people want of you. But they don't bring that fulfillment to you. If anything, they just add frustration. So yeah, so like what you're saying, Emeka, if creative writing is what brings fulfillment to you, then the next question you need to ask yourself is, how do I incorporate this? And this is the key thing. How do I incorporate this into my daily agenda? You know, how do I find time for this? How do I make this part? Because unless you find fulfillment in your life, then anything else you're chasing is meaningless. You know, like King Solomon said, you know, in his old age, you know, this wise and great king, rich and all, and it's all nonsense. It's all what's the word he used? Bible readers.
It's all in
Vanity.
It's all vanity.
Vanity,
Exactly.
yes.
It's all vanity. Why? Because if it didn't bring that fulfillment, if it didn't bring that satisfaction, if it didn't bring that sense of purpose and that you like what you're saying, Emeka, that sense of feeling that you've made a difference, feeling that really I've made this time count. You know what I mean? So yeah. So that's what lifestyle is all about. Yeah. If I invite one other person before we wind up, please, because we're kind of running out of time.
Yes, Charles. Yeah, I just
Thank
wanted to say something.
Go on.
Can everybody hear me? Oh,
Yeah, we can
hello?
hear you. We can hear you, Paul. Go on.
We hear you, Paul.
All
Yes.
right. Yeah. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, guys, for nice presentation, both of you. It was really nice. I just wanted to say something which I think resonates with what Charles said. In terms of leadership, Maxwell said that the hardest thing he has ever learned in his life is self-leadership. I think it's really in line with what Charles said, that at times it's quite difficult to lead yourself, you know, to decide what kind of lifestyle you want and to lead yourself towards that. It's easier sometimes to tell others and, you know, to sometimes even to talk, but you have to make sure that you have set the way you want to live and lead yourself, because if you can lead yourself, it's easy to lead others. And one more thing I want to say as well is sometimes we think we can save the world ourselves. You know, you want to do everything. You want to solve every problem. And I think that sometimes brings a lot of stress to our bodies. And, you know, you think you can do everything, but you are not designed. Even God has not designed us that way. There is something specific God has designed you to do. So I think is find that, do that, and then enjoy life. Somebody else will do something else. But I think most of the time, especially we people who come from Africa, as one of my sisters there say, we have got issues here, we have got issues back home. We don't live the present life. We want to, you know, we say probably one day we'll go home, so we want to save, you know. So there are a lot of things, you know, and we fail to enjoy life. The point you're getting to 60, you realize that you have not lived, you know. You might build your mansions there and then they're just taking your body there before they bury you. You know, so I think it's very important to enjoy the present, set the sail of your life, lead yourself, do what you are designed to do, leave the rest for others to do, because you cannot save the world by yourself. Thank you, Charles.
Right. Thank you, Paul. So at age 60, you realize you existed. You didn't live.
That's really powerful, Paul. That's really powerful. Guys, I wish I could sit here and talk for the rest of the evening, because the conversation we're having right now, I think it's very important, and the conversation that we don't often have. And I think we need to have more of these kind of conversations. How we can get the best out of what we already have, because that's what this is all about. That as we are striving to get more and more, become more, how can we make the best of what we already have, and really get the fulfillment and live life to the fullest, if you like. And this is what these conversations are all about. But because of time, we have to end here, guys. Thank you so much for all your contributions. Thank you so much for the chats. The chats have been really great. I've been perusing the chats, and people have been chatting away all their ideas and comments and excitements and all this stuff, which is really good, because it's all about engagement. It's all about raising the conversation and really challenging us to take this conversation out there, that this conversation may not just end up in this forum, in this platform. Take this conversation with your loved ones. Take this conversation with your friends. Take this conversation to other platforms and other forums that you have, because that way is how we raise the awareness and raise this conversation, really challenge ourselves to do better, to be better, to live better. So having said that, thank you very much, and I wish you a great and a blessed weekend. Hope to see you again in a couple of weeks' time, and God bless you guys.